Hello everyone, I am Pragati Ardeshna. This month Apollo CBCC Cancer Care takes an initiative to promote a cancer Mukt Jeevan for each and every individual. So I would like to welcome Dr. VR and Vijay Kumar, consultant surgical oncologist for head and neck. Hello doctor.
Hi, Ms. Pragati, and hello everyone.
Please please sir tell us more about yourself.
I am Dr. Vijay, working as a consultant surgical oncologist for Apollo CBCC Cancer Care Ahmedabad. I have done my surgical residency from Hyderabad, following which my super specialty I have done from Mumbai Prince Ali Khan Hospital under Dr. Sultan Pradhan, well-known surgical oncologist in India. And since
Wow.
past 2 years, I am working as an individual consultant oncologist, and now I am with Apollo CBCC. I'm very happy to take part in this FB Live. Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you.
Pragati, for introducing me.
You're welcome, sir. That's great. That's great. Sir, first question I would like to ask that what are the cancers that are termed as a head and neck cancers? ये एक्चुअल में होते क्या है? क्योंकि बहुत लोगों को इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं है. So first basic
Right.
question.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Head and neck cancer is actually a very broad term which is used where there are multiple subsites in the head and neck, right? Even when we can understand there are eyes, there is nose, there is mouth, there are ears, there is throat. So multiple things. Cancers which arise in any of these areas, we are broadly termed them as head and neck cancers, but specifically to speak about, it includes the oral cavity, it includes the nasal cavity, it includes the paranasal sinuses, it includes the nasopharynx, the oropharynx, which is the part which is just behind the oral cavity, and the nasopharynx is a part just behind the nasal cavity, and also the throat, which comprises of the larynx, which is in common terminology known as a voice box, and the food pipe, the origin of the food, the very initial part of the food pipe, and also certain salivary glands and thyroid gland as well. So, cancers arising from any of these are particularly termed as head and neck cancers, but specifically they are given a name depending on the site of origin. And in
Okay.
Indian subcontinent, we see majority of the head and neck cancers into the oral cavity itself, or maybe the oropharynx. And even in
Okay.
oral cavity, there are multiple subsets, right? Like right from the lip to the tongue,
Okay.
to the buccal mucosa, and also even to the floor of the mouth. Cancers arising from any of these areas are grouped as oral cancers with specific subsites. And sometimes there are salivary gland tumors
Okay.
also, which are seen usually in the neck area or even in the just below the ear. So most of these cancers, 90% of the oral cancers I'm speaking about, are actually squamous cell carcinomas, which is a most common diagnosis actually, which occur over the superficial layer, the visible layer of the oral cavity. If we just open our mouth and see in the mirror, all the visible area which is there, any ulcer or any pathology of that area would be most probably a squamous cell carcinoma. And in Indian subcontinent, it is much more actually.
ओके ओके सो जैसे आपने बताया कि हेड एंड नेक कैंसर बहुत ब्रॉड टर्मिनोलॉजी और बहुत टाइप के कैंसर इंक्लूड करते हैं सो ये
Right.
जो सारे कैंसर है उसके होने के कारण क्या क्या हो सकता है व्हाट आर द कॉज ऑफ दिस
Right.
कैंसर्स
So specifically, when it comes to the oral cavity cancers, I'll speak about oral cavity cancers initially, and then we'll talk about the other cancers in the head and neck. So oral cavity cancers are strongly related to the addictions, like the tobacco or tobacco in any form, be it smoking or be it smokeless tobacco, like pan masala, zarda, tobacco, and mawa, which is highly available in Gujarat, that is particularly in Saurashtra area. These people keep them for a very long time in the oral cavity, which leads to certain changes in the mucosa, that the superficial lining of the, as I have already told, which would later on lead to cancer. Sometimes people also have an additional addiction of getting addicted to alcoholism. So alcoholism plus smoking have a synergistic effect. Matlab, the bad effect of smoking is potentiated or aggravated by alcoholism also. Apart from this, other causes of oral cavity carcinomas are HPV virus, human papilloma virus, which actually leads in the oropharynx at the tonsil area and the area behind in the base tongue. These areas, the cancers are mostly related to the human papilloma virus. Epstein-Barr virus is one virus which causes carcinomas of the nasopharyngeal area, which the area which is little above the oropharynx, which is in communication with the nasal cavity posteriorly. plus ill-fitting dentures, plus sharp tooth which are just directly impinging on the buccal mucosa. Repeated trauma because of that sharp tooth. Slowly, the mucosa will change its texture from the normal to the squamous variety and leading to a squamous cell carcinoma. Apart from this, poor hygiene, poor oral hygiene, actually, poor nutrition, poor immunity, these all are added factors which are actually proven risk factors for oral cancers. And when I speak about paranasal sinuses, because we are talking about causes of head and neck cancers, the paranasal sinuses are particularly the carcinomas of these are related to the environmental exposures like asbestos or some environmental pollutants, which lead to the carcinomas of the paranasal sinuses, particularly maxillary sinus, which are just air-filled spaces on either side of the nose, just below the eyeball, above the oral cavity. And laryngeal cancers are again laryngeal, that is a voice box cancers. These are again related to smoking. And oropharyngeal cancers are also mostly related to HPV as well as smoking. Thyroid cancers are one subgroup of head and neck cancers, different endocrine cancers actually. The cause of these are either familial or sometimes even in a long-standing thyroid swellings. So multiple reasons are there. So I think these are the most common causes. The addictions play a more important role.
ओके सो जैसे आपने बताया कि एडिक्शन तो रोल प्ले करता ही है, उसके अलावा भी बहुत सारे रीज़न हैं।
Yes,
तो जो
yes.
लोग तम्बाकू खाते हैं या जिन लोगों को ये ओरल कैविटीज़ के प्रॉब्लम है, सो हाउ दे आइडेंटिफाई कि इनको ये जो हेड एंड नेक कैंसर के वो सिम्पटम्स आ रहे हैं, तो इसके लक्षण वगैरह क्या होते हैं जिससे वो
Right.
आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं कि उनको डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए?
ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आपने पूछा है। लक्षण मुंह का कैंसर स्पेसिफिकली लक्षण क्या है? तो शुरू में ऐसा होता है कि when the person gets addicted, the mucosa slowly changes its texture from being very soft and pliable, complete mouth opening are all will be there. But as a person gets addicted, the changes which are seen initially it starts with reduction in mouth opening, the restriction in mouth opening, and then there might be even a white patch or a red patch in the oral cavity. The normal area is like once we see in the mirror, we can see it's just a pinkish area overall. But sometimes if there is a reddish area or a whitish patch in the any part of the oral cavity, be it on the lip, inner side of the lip, tongue, floor of the mouth, buccal mucosa, anywhere. So these are little worrisome things where the patient needs to be more vigilant or come to the doctor. Or sometimes it may just go a higher up to form an ulcer, which doesn't heal on its own. Again, here people need to understand that ulcers are many types of ulcers occur in the oral cavity. Usually, many of us get stress ulcers, which we term as aphthous ulcers, which are actually painful, very minute, and they subside on their own, maybe within a week or 10 days. But there are certain ulcers which are not so small, which keep gradually increasing in size, not so painful, and don't heal on their own. So, if an ulcer which is not healing on its own, that is really worrisome. The patient needs to meet the doctor or at least any physician nearby. Not just that he needs to go to meet a cancer surgeon only. He can meet anyone nearby so that to at least rule out the doubt, like an ENT surgeon or a dentist, someone that has to be there. And apart from this, these are the areas where the patient can see. So sometimes there are certain difficulties where the patient will feel but not see, like difficulty in swallowing, hoarseness of the voice. Sometimes people do come and say, "Sir, मेरा आवाज बदल गया है, काफी दिनों से बदल गया है, अभी धीरे-धीरे श्वास लेने में भी दिक्कत हो रही है." So these are certain things where the patient himself is giving us a history where we can think about that there is some problem with his voice box or the where the air is entering into the trachea, the windpipe. Sometimes people also do complain of difficulty in swallowing, difficulty in talking, difficulty in moving the tongue within the oral cavity, restricted movements of the tongue, sometimes just ear pain. So there are multiple, because of the multiple sites in the oral cavity, there are multiple symptoms with which the patients may come. And specifically, they need to think about this ulcer which does not heal on its own, any difficulty in breathing, any difficulty in swallowing, any difficulty, any change in the voice, or any swelling in the neck or in the just below the ear. These are all little worrisome symptoms where the person needs to go to meet a doctor just to rule out whether if there is something or not.
Okay. Okay. सो जब किसी भी पर्सन को ये फिजिशियन के ये सारे सिम्टम्स होते हैं और फिजिशियन के पास जाते हैं, उनको मान लीजिए कैंसर डायग्नोस हुआ, तो जब वो एक हेड एंड नेक ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट के पास आते हैं, तो व्हाट दे नीड टू एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम अ ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट?
Right. So, what usually happens, patients do come to us when patients coming to a oncologist usually have a report, diagnosed report within their hands. But I'll just talk with respect to when a patient comes with just a symptom to a doctor. So initially, when the patient, there will be a proper history taking, like when did this develop and whether he has any addictions or not, and how is it progressing and all. Following which, we will do a thorough clinical examination, which means we'll inspect the entire oral cavity very properly. We'll inspect the neck. We'll palpate the neck to see, matlab, we'll feel everything, whether everything is normal or not. If there is some worrisome ulcer or a swelling anywhere, then we will have to counsel the patient that there may be some possibility that it may be normal, sometimes it may be an abnormal thing, which we can rule out only if we remove certain piece of tissue from that. थोड़ा टुकड़ा का जान जो बोलते हैं, बायोप्सी जो नॉर्मल भाषा में कहते हैं, वो करना है. तो उसमें we will just remove some part of the tissue and will send it for pathological testing, where वो लोग माइक्रोस्कोप में देखते हैं कि कारण कैसा है, लक्षण कैसा है इसका, इसमें बीमारी है या नहीं है, whether it is cancer or not. If at all it is cancer, what type of cancer it is. If at all, if the cancer is diagnosed, the type is diagnosed, how, what is the grade of the cancer. There are multiple things which the pathologist will see and report back to us. So once the diagnosis of cancer is confirmed, then we need to see the look for the stage. If they are very anterior lesions जो आंख को दिख जाती है और very काफी छोटी रहती है, तो सीधा we can just do some local investigations like an ultrasound neck. But there are certain scenarios where the lesions are not totally visible, like पीछे रह सकती है या फिर जीभ में रह सकती है, जो आधा जीभ के उस साइड भी, ऑपोजिट साइड भी इन्वॉल्व करती है, जिसमें थोड़ा स्कैन्स का जरूरत पड़ती है. most commonly we use a contrast enhanced CT scan, जो हम बोलते हैं CT scan, और CT scan करते हैं, जिसमें हमको ये बीमारी कितनी बड़ी है और ऐसा बीमारी कहीं और पे जो हमको आंख को नहीं दिख रहे, वो कहीं और पे है या नहीं, अगर है तो उसका लक्षण कैसा है, ये सब हमको जानने के लिए मिलता है उसी वक्त. So in one CT scan we'll come to know the primary area where the biopsy is done, plus other areas whether the rest of the areas are good or not. It also gives us an idea the extent of the tumor, कितना बढ़ चुकी है, कितना आगे पीछे, कितना जो आंख को दिख रहा है उतना ही है या उससे ज्यादा भी थोड़ा फैला हुआ है, ये सब भी हमको सीटी स्कैन में जानने के लिए मिलता है. कभी कभी गहराई में पहुंचती है, तो उसके बाद सीटी स्कैन ये भी अंदाजा देती है इनके कैसी तरीके से ट्रीटमेंट देनी है. ऑपरेशन डायरेक्टली कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते, ये सब चीज जानने के लिए मिलता है. और मुंह का कैंसर्स का एक और लक्षण है, वो यूजुअली गले में फैलता है, मतलब दे जस्ट स्प्रेड टू द नेक, लिम्फ नोड्स ऑफ द नेक. तो ये भी क्लिनिकल एग्जामिनेशन में पता चलता है, अगर बहुत ही बड़ा स्प्रेड हो गया तो हाथ को लग गई, तो वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट द डिसीज हैज गॉट स्प्रेड टू द नेक. But there are certain scenarios where you cannot feel the neck nodes, the involvement of the neck. But on a CT scan or on an ultrasound, maybe sometimes you will know that the involvement of the neck is also there. वो पूरा stage ही बदलती है. Very rarely we do utilize an MRI scan, particularly if the lesion is on the tongue or on the base tongue. ये ऐसा जगह है, नॉर्मली सीटी स्कैन यूज करते हैं, बट टंग को या फिर पीछे भाग की टंग को और इससे नीचे की भाग को एमआरआई स्कैन का जरूरत पड़ सकती है, क्योंकि सॉफ्ट टिश्यूज में एक्चुअली एमआरआई अच्छा काम करती है डिलीनिएशन के लिए, और नीचे गले में आ गया है नहीं है इन्वॉल्वमेंट डायरेक्टली, क्योंकि टंग में कभी कभी पीछे जाती है, आंख को नहीं दिखता है, हाथ को भी बराबर नहीं पता चलता है, तो वो सब एमआरआई में दिख जाता है. People also usually come and ask about the PET CT scans, very famous these days, and everyone comes to know if it's a cancer patient, he will definitely know about a PET CT scan. But as such, head and neck cancers, may they are well localized, there are very few indications for PET CT scans. Like suppose कभी कभी ऐसा भी होता है कि सिर्फ हमको एक गठान पता चलता है, जिसका जड़ कैसा कहाँ है वो समझ में नहीं आएगा, जितना भी हम ढूंढे वो पता नहीं चलती है, तो वो की सिचुएशंस में हमको पेट स्कैन यूज करना पड़ेगा, ताकि कहीं पे जो आंख को नहीं दिख रहा है या फिर स्कोपी से भी नहीं मिल रहा है, वो कहीं पे हुआ होगा बोल के हमको समझ में आ जाएगा. और एक और सिचुएशन ऐसा भी होता है, और काफी बढ़ चुकी है बीमारी, तो हमको ऐसा डाउट होगा कि ज्यादा खांसी आ रहा है पेशेंट को, या ऐसा एक सिचुएशन ऐसा भी लगता है कि लोकली काफी एडवांस्ड है, तो हमको लगे कि कहीं और पे बीमारी फैल गया होगा, तो वो रूल आउट करने के लिए भी पेट स्कैन का जरूरत पड़ सकती है. So there are multiple investigations which we do, like the first one examination, second one a biopsy, third one to see the extent of the disease by a CT scan or an MRI, and fourth one, if required, sometimes very rarely a PET CT scan is used.
राइट, वेरी गुड इन्फॉर्मेशन डॉक्टर. आई थिंक अभी बहुत सारे लोगों को जो मेडिकल बैकग्राउंड से बिलोंग नहीं करते उनको आइडिया आएगा कि ये सारे इन्वेस्टिगेशन क्यों जरूरी है और उसकी क्या अहमियत है. सो आगे का मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर उनको डायग्नोस होता है, सो व्हाट आर द ट्रीटमेंट मोडालिटीज, हम किस तरीके से उनको ट्रीट कर सकते हैं?
Yes. Any cancer, be it not just head and neck cancer, it's actually a multidisciplinary treatment which is required, where a entire tumor board will be there, including a surgical oncologist, medical oncologist, radiation oncologist, and sometimes even a radiologist and a pathologist also. But usually head and neck cancers are straightforward cases most of the times. So, and majority of head and neck cancers are treated by surgery. So the best treatment for head and neck cancer is to remove the tumor if possible. So that is the first and golden rule which we need to keep in mind. So all the while we try to remove the tumor, and there are certain situations where we have to give an additional treatment apart from surgery even after removing the tumor. बीमारी निकाल दिया तो अभी आगे कुछ ट्रीटमेंट का जरूरत हो सकती है, वो यूजुअली रेडिएशन है, जो नॉर्मल भाषा में सेक कहते हैं, जो लाइट रेस से ट्रीटमेंट होती है. उसके बाद देर आर फ्यू सिनेरियोस वेयर कीमोथेरेपी का भी जरूरत हो सकता है. यूजुअली अगर बीमारी ज्यादा बढ़ गई तो कीमोथेरेपी का इस्तेमाल करना है. तो सर्जरीज यूजुअली कंप्राइज होता है कि वो अगर गठान छोटी सी 1 सेंटीमीटर का गठान हो, फिर भी हमको आजू बाजू का टिश्यू, अतरफ का नॉर्मल टिश्यू साथ साथ में निकालना होती है, क्योंकि कैंसर एक ऐसा प्रकार की बीमारी है, वो चारों तरफ से ऐसा ऐसा फैलता जाती है, हमको कहाँ से वो फैल रहे हो हमको मालूम नहीं होगा. तो चारों तरफ से नॉर्मल टिश्यू के साथ साथ बराबर क्लीन करनी है, और उधर से वो कहीं पे जाएगा, मतलब एज आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड, वो गर्दन में फैलने की चांस रहती है. सो मिनिमम टू मिनिमम अगर हमको स्कैन में भी ऐसा रिपोर्ट आती है कि गर्दन में बीमारी फैला हुआ ही नहीं है, फिर भी हमको लिम्फ नोड्स, मतलब वो चर्बी जो बोलते हैं, वो उसको निकालना पड़ेगा. मिनिमम ऑफ ऊपर का लिम्फ नोड्स तो निकाल के उसी वक्त लाइव बायोप्सी में भेजते हैं. बीमारी बराबर निकल गई है नहीं, ये भी हमको लाइव बायोप्सी, वी यूजुअली टर्म इन आवर मेडिकल टर्मिनोलॉजी एज फ्रोजन सेक्शन. All these things we use. So this is with respect to the surgery part of removing the tumor. Second, once the tumor is removed, एक बार stage पता चल गई, तो most of the head and neck cancers will require radiation. Very few patients, very early stage patients will miss the radiation part. They don't require radiation, but majority of head and neck cancer patients will require radiation. वो एक 6 हफ्ते की ट्रीटमेंट या कभी कभी 7 हफ्ते का भी ट्रीटमेंट रह सकता है, जिसमें हफ्ते में 5 दिन का रेडिएशन होता है. और सपोज कुछ पैथोलॉजी में, मतलब जब भी हम पूरा बीमारी निकाल के टेस्टिंग में भेज देते हैं, उसमें हमको एक कुछ लक्षण देते हैं बीमारी का, जिस प्रकार में हमको एक और ट्रीटमेंट भी ऐड करना होता है, वो होता है कीमोथेरेपी. रेडिएशन के साथ साथ कीमोथेरेपी भी देना है. जैसा 5 दिन की रेडिएशन मिलता है और 1 दिन का कीमोथेरेपी और 1 दिन छुट्टी, ऐसा 6 हफ्ते का ट्रीटमेंट चलता है. सो दिस इज अ multidisciplinary treatment where just a surgical oncologist cannot say I'll only be the treating person, or a radiation oncologist also cannot say only he will treat the patient. This is a multimodality treatment where a mixture of all these 3 people will be there. Apart from that, I want to stress on one more important thing about the plastic surgery aspect, where the reconstruction is much more important to maintain the normal continuity, normal function, as well as the cosmesis of the patient. So these are the steps which specialties are included.
ओके, सो आपने जैसे बताया कि फर्स्ट स्टेप है सर्जरी करके वो उनको रिमूव करना. तो सर्जरी में हम कई बार अक्सर सुनते हैं कि हेड एंड नेक कैंसर पेशेंट जो है उनको फ्री फ्लैप कंस्ट्रक्शन का सर्जरी करते हैं, तो वो एक्चुअली क्या होता है, उसके बारे में थोड़ा डिटेल से जानकारी दीजिए.
Right. This is one more recent, not so recent, but actually this is being picked up in these recent years, last few years, where actually reconstruction always means substituting the like with like. मतलब अगर हमने हड्डी निकाला है, उस जगह पे हड्डी बिठानी है, हमने सॉफ्ट टिश्यू निकाला है, उस जगह पे फिर से सॉफ्ट टिश्यू बिठानी है. दिस इज रिकंस्ट्रक्शन का बेसिक प्रिंसिपल है, रिप्लेस लाइक विथ लाइक। सो पुराने जमाने में क्या होता था कि जब भी हम सर्जरी करते थे, जिस जगह पे डिफेक्ट बनती है, तो उसको नजदीक से कोई नॉर्मल टिश्यूज से, यूजुअली फेस से कवर करता था, या फिर छाती से एक फ्लैप स्किन और मसल वो साथ साथ लेके अंदर बिठाता था, जिसको हम पीएमएमसी बोलते हैं, पेक्टोरालिस मेजर। जो बॉडी बिल्डर्स करते हैं तो उसमें पेक्टोरालिस मसल जो हमको दिखता है, वो मसल एक्चुअली अंदर बिठाते हैं। So these were the treatment of choice, and pectoralis major flap is a time-tested flap since many years, like almost when the head and neck cancer surgeries have started. But as the treatments advanced, so then we also came to understand that it is not just making the patient cancer free, but also make the patient survive in a manner that he should be almost in a precancerous phase. लाइक कॉस्मेटिकली दिखना में भी अच्छा अच्छा होना चाहिए, खाना पीना सब कुछ नॉर्मल जैसा होना चाहिए। विद दैट इंटेंशन, प्लास्टिक सर्जरी, रिकंस्ट्रक्टिव सर्जरीज हैव स्टार्टेड, वेयर इन अ फ्री फ्लैप, मतलब वो एक्चुअली फ्री नहीं है, वो नॉर्मल से थोड़ा सा महंगा होती है, बट वेरी गुड रिजल्ट्स विल बी देयर। सो वेयर लाइक विथ लाइक, जैसा मैंने बोला, अगर बक्कल म्यूकोजा अंदर की इस बाकी चीक के अंदर से अगर हमने कुछ टिश्यू निकाला है, या फिर जीभ का थोड़ी भाग निकाला है, तो हाथ के इधर से, राइट और लेफ्ट हैंड इधर से थोड़ा स्किन बाग निकाल के, और उसका जो नस है वो भी नस भी साथ साथ में लेके इधर बिठाते हैं, और वो नस को गर्दन से जो बड़े नस रहते हैं उसके साथ जोड़ देते हैं, ताकि उसका ब्लड सप्लाई मिले और अच्छा कवरिंग करे। तो ये क्या करती है, ये पूरा अगर इधर से हम बिठाते, इधर इतना सूजन आती है, वो सब अवॉइड करता है, और हाथ का नॉर्मल जो काम है, अननेसेसरी हमने ये डिस्टर्ब करने की जरूरत भी नहीं है। तो दिस इज वन कॉल्ड एज अ फ्री रेडियल फोरआर्म फ्लैप, वेरिन इसको रेडियल फोरआर्म बोलते हैं, एंड दिस दे विल कीप इट हियर। अगर कभी ऐसा भी जरूरत होता है कि उतना ये सफिशिएंट नहीं होती है, अगर जीभ का ज्यादा भाग निकाला या फिर बाहर का भी निकालनी पड़ी, उस टाइम पे एंट्रोलैटरल थाई, मतलब थाई से एक फ्लैप, सिमिलर फ्लैप लेते हैं और अंदर बिठाते हैं। तो दीज आर टू फ्लैप्स वेयर इसमें हड्डी का रिकंस्ट्रक्शन की जरूरत नहीं है, बोन की रिकंस्ट्रक्शन की जरूरत नहीं है, जबड़ा जो बोलते हैं उसका रिकंस्ट्रक्शन। बट certain cancers are such that where नीचे का bone थोड़ा भाग निकालनी है। Actually, this is the bone which gives the shape to the patient, and sometimes few patients will have cancer in this area also, central bone. So this part will have to be reconstructed with a bone only. There is no other alternative for it. Alternative मतलब तो कर सकते हैं, but the normal way, the way how the tongue gets attached to that, plus मुंह बंद करने का, it happens only with the bone and the joint. So we try to reconstruct in such a way that the patient's normal mobility is maintained, oral competence is maintained. Oral competence मतलब थूक जो बनती है वो पीछे ही जाना चाहिए, जब हम पानी पीते हैं वो पीछे अंदर गले में जाना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं कि बाहर से निकले। So these are the things which the plastic surgeons, reconstructive surgeons take utmost care of. As an oncologist, we remove the tumor and give it to them, but as a reconstructive surgeon, they have a lot of good role in maintaining the cosmesis, the functional outcome, as well as the overall lifestyle for the patient post surgery. Also, he would almost live a equally normal life like before. That is the intent of free flap reconstruction.
Okay. ओके ओके सो मतलब अभी बहुत सारी ट्रीटमेंट अवेलेबल है और अच्छे सक्सेस रेट के साथ है, पर एक कैंसर मुक्त जीवन के लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं? ये जो हेड एंड नेक कैंसर्स है, जिसके सारे बहुत इतने सारे कैंसर्स के टाइप है, सब टाइप है, तो इन सारे कैंसर से बचने के लिए हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं? कैसे इनको प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं?
The term आपने जो यूज किया, prevention is the best form of cure actually. सो एक बार कैंसर बन गया, उसके बाद में क्या करना है वो मैंने आपको अभी तक बताया था कि ये इन्वेस्टिगेशंस करते हैं, सर्जरी करते हैं, रेडिएशन देते हैं। बट इसमें क्यों जाना है, इससे पहले ही हम रोक सके, तो उसमें है प्रिवेंशन। प्रिवेंशन में जैसा मैंने कारण जो बोला था, एडिक्शंस, वही एडिक्शंस अगर नहीं है तो ऑलमोस्ट कैंसर प्रिवेंटेबल है, एक्सेप्ट फॉर द शार्प टूथ एंड ऑल विच आर अनअवॉइडेबल थिंग्स, जो पेशेंट्स नॉर्मल लोग भी थोड़ा सोच में रहना चाहिए कि अगर कभी कहीं पे चबाता रहता है, या फिर इफ इट इज जस्ट हर्टिंग द बकल म्यूकोसा, देन दे शुड गेट द टूथ रिमूव्ड और गेट द टूथ सॉफ्टन्ड। अदरवाइज एडिक्शंस जो भी है, वो एडिक्शन से बाहर आना बिल्कुल इम्पोर्टेंट है, और वो काफी दिक्कत सी चीज है, वो हम भी समझते हैं, ऐसा एक दिन में नहीं होगा। बार बार ट्राई करते हैं. देर आर मेनी पीपल, मेनी ऑफ माई पेशेंट्स हु से सर मैं तो ट्राई कर रहा हूँ फिर भी मेरे मेरे लिए नहीं हो रहा है, मेरे साथ नहीं हो रहा है. So there are failure to de-addict is not a mistake. That means that people have tried to go into de-addiction. They need to continue it. That is the most important thing. So कैंसर बनने से पहले ही हमने ये डी एडिक्शन के प्रोग्राम शुरू किया तो हमारे लिए अच्छा है, उससे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता है. और दूसरा आता है अर्ली डिटेक्शन. अवेयरनेस इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो एडिक्शंस नहीं है फिर भी दे हैव टू बी लाइक very aware of what symptoms are actually cancerous. मतलब the symptoms of a cancer, like as I've told you hoarseness, जिसमें एक्चुअली इसका रोल नहीं, जैसा होर्स वॉइस है या फिर सोर थ्रोट है, कंटिन्यूस बार बार सोर थ्रोट हो रहा है. सो दीज थिंग्स दे हैव टू गो टू द डॉक्टर एट द अर्लीस्ट टाइम. Usually what happens, patients come to us when they have some pain which is uncontrollable, when they try, even in case of difficulty in swallowing, they somehow try to swallow with water, somehow try to slowly try to do things. But later on when the symptoms reach to such an extent that they can't manage on by themselves, then they meet the doctor. By that time already the disease would have been advanced. So early
Right.
detection, which happens only by very good awareness, that is also more important. So these two, I think people should be aware of. One, to prevent it by not getting addicted, or even if they're addicted, de-addiction. Second, awareness, so that early detection is possible. Both these things would definitely help India in reducing the morbidity because of the head and neck cancers.
ओके, सो जांच डायग्नोसिस के बाद उनका ट्रीटमेंट अर्ली स्टेज पे स्टार्ट करना एडवाइजेबल है आपके हिसाब से हर एक पेशेंट के लिए. सो हाउ कम अपोलो हॉस्पिटल, अपोलो सीबीसीसी कैंसर केयर इज वेरी मच नोन अबाउट द पेशेंट्स, और ये क्यों अच्छा है चॉइस के लिए कैंसर पेशेंट के लिए?
Yes, I am with Apollo since past 1 year, and I'm very happy with the things, how things are going on here. There is a multi-modality treatment going on here. Like, it's not just a surgeon who is just treating the patient as and when the patient comes to him. So there is a group discussion. The entire thing under one single roof. Radiation oncologist is available. A medical oncologist is available. A surgical oncologist is available. A very good anesthesia backup is there. Reconstructive surgeons are available. So when you have everyone as a team and everyone is working with one intention to give the best cure for the patient, obviously that would definitely give a best outcome also. Apart from this, cancer screenings are going on. Diagnostic workup, like the pathologist, we have a excellent pathology here. Even the minutest doubt on a biopsy will always be diagnosed in a proper manner. Like, we never have a doubt what to do with this biopsy report. So which happens elsewhere sometimes. Sometimes it may happen even with us also, but the frequency and the percentage is less. So I do feel teamwork will always be helpful in treating any cancer patient, and no one can say that I alone can treat the cancer. So that is happening in Apollo CPCC.
Right. True. So we would like to take questions from audience as well.
Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. So, hi, Jaymin. The first question is from Jaymin. Can I work, drive, and do more normal activities while having a treatment?
It all depends upon the morbidity which you got. Like, immediate post surgery, yes, we do tell patients to take bed rest. But while radiation, it all depends upon the morbidity. If the patient can walk, the patient can do his normal activities, definitely. Work, I think he needs to take some rest. Drive, I don't think he can drive on his own. He can drive, but it's not preferable to drive on his own. Apart normal activities, yes, definitely they can do.
Okay. Okay. So another viewer, Sapna. Hi, Sapna. Are there any self-check that can help to detect head and neck cancer at home?
Yes, hi Sapna. This question is really important because we regularly brush our teeth, but most of the times we just keep our oral cavity closed, just quickly brush, and then we do it very fast.
Right.
We don't even see what in our own family member what he is suffering from, even if it is in the oral cavity, which is visible to our naked eyes. So there are certain minimal things which we need to do. At least once in a week, we just regularly examine the oral cavity, see how the tongue is, see how the mucosa is, because there are certain things which do not cause pain. They just be a small whitish patch or a red patch, which I have told, where the patient will be totally asymptomatic. That is just a visible thing. You have to see and then understand that there is something going wrong. So
Right.
this health check is really important. And sometimes if there is something, you can just examine your neck also, like the way how people do breast examinations. When we do tell them about breast screenings in the similar way, I think oral cavity can also be screened regularly at home. Self check is important. And symptoms, as I've already told, those also have to be kept in mind. Early symptoms.
Hi, Girja. Next question is from Girja. Can blunt force trauma to the head and neck cause cancer?
Hi, Girija. This question, blunt force trauma, no, it is not a factor towards head and neck cancer. But maybe because of blunt force trauma, when the patient is investigated what has happened, then maybe if there is something occult which is there inside, which was not known till that point of time, may come out. But otherwise, trauma per se does not cause cancer.
Next question is from Darshan. How long does the treatment of head and neck cancer take? कितना duration रहता है time?
Yeah. Hi, Darshanji. Like as I've told, head and neck cancers comprise of many subsites. It all depends upon what area we are actually treating. If it is a thyroid cancer, maybe it's just the surgery and then follow up. If it is a larynx cancer or any the common oral cavity carcinomas, the surgery and the recovery from surgery would take of minimum of 4 weeks. Following which again the radiation therapy is there, which is again for 6 weeks, which would be mixed with chemotherapy. And very rarely we see locally advanced cancers where we give chemotherapy prior to surgery to downstage the disease and then again go for surgery, which would again depend upon the number of cycles planned prior to surgery. So in a whole, if you just take, it would be around 6 weeks plus 4 weeks, 10 weeks, and around 3 months overall. I think that should be the answer for this question. Speaking about the most common cancers of head and neck.
Okay. Next question is from Jaydeep. किन लोगों को head and neck cancer होने के chances सबसे ज़्यादा है?
Hi, Jaydeep Bhai. Highest risk for head and neck cancers, as I've told, particularly in Gujarat, Indian subcontinent, it is more. Gujarat, it is more. UP, Bihar, it is more. And when we understand this, why is that? What is the reason? It's because of the tobacco. Chewing tobacco is very harmful, and added on which alcoholism is totally harmful. So this is one highest risk. The patients who get addicted to this are definitely at a very high risk for head and neck cancers.
Hello, Ashutosh. Does head or neck can leave noticeable scar?
Hi, Ashutosh ji. Yes, previously they used to have noticeable scars, but now with the advent of free flap reconstructive surgeries and plastic surgeons being with us, they are definitely looking at the cosmetic aspect of it and giving a very good unnoticeable scar, which we even don't understand after 3 or 4 months when the patient comes back to us. We would also be thinking whether did we really treat him or not. So there are really nice results these days.
Okay. So next question is from Jan. Are frequent sinus infection is a sign of sinus cancer? ये actually बहुत common questions
Right,
वगैरह.
right. So most of the times, and once again, I'm stressing on the point, the symptoms which I have told are a symptom of a cancer, but they can also be in 90% of the times they are normal. So the reason why I've told those symptoms were to be just vigilant. They just don't take it light and just keep taking antibiotics, which we usually take for the regular sinusitis infections, take these steam inhalations and all. But whatever the frequency is not important. Frequency, if you get a sinus infection and it is getting normalized with treatment, again after about 3 or 4 months, if you are getting a sinus infection, then that is a different thing. But if there are certain problems which just keep on being like that, they don't get relieved even after taking medications and treatments, then those need to be worked out. So in any case, if there are persistent symptoms, yes, you need to meet the doctor and get the investigations done with an iota of doubt, keeping that it may be a malignancy. Not definitely sure that it would be a malignancy. That just a small iota of doubt, which definitely save us from a morbid thing later on. So that is my intent to tell you the symptoms.
Okay. So here are our viewers thanking you. Thank you, doctor. So
Thank you.
before leaving, कैंसर मुक्त जीवन के लिए आप अपने व्यूअर्स को कोई मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
कैंसर मुक्त जीवन जो अभी अपोलो सीबीसीसी ने चालू किया है इज अ वेरी गुड अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम बिकॉज cancers are actually rising in India. One, because of the advanced diagnostic techniques available, and two, because of the care which is going almost at the village level. So patients are getting diagnosed. So from our point, we just want to tell only one thing: nothing like prevention. So always try to prevent something before getting it. Like even in this COVID times, we are always talking about preventive measures like hand washing and using a mask and regularly cleaning ourselves and sanitizing and all these things. The same holds good for almost every health condition. Where if we are vigilant, if we don't get addicted to bad things, and also if we are vigilant, so that if very early sign gets diagnosed earlier, so that will give best results. So through Cancer Mukt Jeevan by Apollo CBCC, I would like to tell all people to be aware to if you are already addicted, try to de-addict, try to come out of those addictions and live a healthy life and a peaceful life. And we wish that.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pragati.